they okay from? All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. This is the meeting of Tuesday, October 10th, 2017. This meeting is being held in accordance with public laws of 1975. Chapter 231, an adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by a notice sent to the Star Ledger, the local source, and posted in the main lobby of this municipal building and on the Township website. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And if we could stay standing for a moment of silence in memory of our troops, both here and abroad.
Thank you. Okay. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Stampoulis.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Vassallo.
Here.
Committeewoman Bujnowski.
Here.
Committeewoman DuBois.
Here.
Committeeman Huber.
Here.
Okay, everyone's here. We're going to start with our proclamations.
Okay. I'll start with the National Breast Cancer Awareness Month proclamation. I know everybody here sees everyone in pink except for myself, so I apologize in advance. I had nothing in my closet in pink. However, I know I'm fully aware of breast cancer. Unfortunately, that's what my mother was diagnosed with 2 years prior to her death in 1997. So I believe her breast cancer attributed to the spread of her cancer, which she in turn ended up dying of endometrial cancer. In addition to that, I have a lot of friends and family that have been touched by the disease as well. So I'm going to read the following proclamation. Whereas October 2017 is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and October 20th, 2017 is National Mammography Day. And whereas breast cancer is the most common cancer among women and kills more women in the United States than any other cancer except lung cancer. And whereas in 2017, an estimated 226,970 new cases of invasive breast cancer are expected to be diagnosed in women in the U.S. and 39,510 breast cancer deaths. And whereas while breast cancer in men is rare, it does happen with an estimated 2,200 new cases of breast cancer expected to be diagnosed in men in 2017. And whereas death rates from breast cancer have been declining, these decreases are thought to be the result of treatment advances, earlier detection through screening, and increased awareness, and mammography is the best available method of detecting breast changes that may be cancerous. And whereas pink ribbons have been the symbol of the fight against breast cancer since 1993, now, therefore, I, Maria Vassallo, Deputy Mayor of the Township of Springfield, on behalf of the entire Township Committee, do hereby proclaim October 2017 as Breast Cancer Awareness Month and October 20th, 2017 as Mammography Day in the Township of Springfield, and call upon all citizens, private business, nonprofit organizations, and all other interested groups to join in activities that will increase their awareness and understanding of breast cancer and what they can do to prevent and control breast cancer, and urge Springfield to show support by going pink. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done.
Mr. Huber?
Whatever could go first.
Okay, you can go
Okay.
first.
I have two items to briefly discuss. First, myself, along with the rest of the Township Committee, would like to send our condolences to the Antioch Baptist Church family on the passing of Pastor Clarence Austin. I've known him probably for nearly 20 years. My husband's family have been members there for decades, and I knew him to be a great man, and it's sad to hear that he has passed, so I just wanted to send our condolences from the Township Committee. And secondly, I just wanted to touch on the fact that today is World Mental Health Day. Globally, more than 300 million people suffer from depression, the leading cause of disability. More than 260 million are living with anxiety disorders. Many of these people live with both. A recent World Health Organization-led study estimates that depression and anxiety disorders cost the global economy in the U.S. $1 trillion each year in lost productivity. Mental health in the workplace is the theme of World Mental Health Day 2017. World Mental Health Day is observed on October 10th every year with the overall objective of raising awareness of mental health issues and mobilizing efforts in support of better mental health. So I just wanted to address that. Thank you.
Thank you, Erin.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Huber?
The Township Committee and town would like to extend its condolences to Leo Spirito, who passed away peacefully on October 2nd. Mr. Spirito was well known not only in Springfield but Union County and the state for his work in recreation, and was a sports official and assistant for high school soccer, football, basketball, baseball, and softball. He has received many awards for his work and devotion to his recreation program. Anybody in the town of, well, in Union County that played any sports, Leo didn't do anything for the last, I guess, 7 years. I talked to his son. But before that, he did games here all the time. I saw him in baseball and soccer and everything else. He helped me get my license in softball, in baseball. He helped a lot of people get it. He always helped kids. And if you argued with him about a call, he would come over, and I argued with him a lot, and he would come over and explain why he called it, and then you couldn't say anything because he gave you a reason why it was called. But he will be missed. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rich.
Okay, the last date to register to vote for November 7th general election is Tuesday, October 17th, and the Township Clerk's office will be open till 8 p.m. that evening. We're also having our Halloween Spooktacular, which is sponsored by the Rec Department, the Springfield Patriot Chamber of Commerce, Springfield Municipal Alliance, and the Red Ribbon Week for Sunday, October 29th at the Chisholm Community Center from 11:30 till 2 p.m. And also, please remember to stop by on Mondays. The farmer market is still at the library from, I believe, 11 till 6. Mm-hmm. Okay, at this time, anybody from the public would like to speak on agenda items only? Please come forward, state your name. Agenda items only. State your name and address and be mindful of our 5-minute time limit.
Sure. Ellen Dixon, Tap into Springfield. Wasn't sure whether the Tap into Springfield debate for tomorrow night is on the agenda or off the agenda.
It's on the agenda, and we're going to have it in our discussion items if you'd like to wait till then.
Okay, sure. We'll do that.
Thank you, Ellen. Anybody else? Okay, we'll move forward to our reports. Finance?
Oh, I'd like to approve the total amount of payroll and vouchers for the period from September 27th to October 10th in the amount of $1,774,628.25.
I second.
Committeewoman Bujanowski.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Vasallo.
Yes.
Committeewoman Du Bois.
Yes.
Committeeman Huber.
Yes.
Mayor Stampoulis.
Yes. Good evening, Mr. Quick. Do you have a budget status report for us?
I do, and everybody got it over the weekend, and I'm happy to report right now that the total amount, that the percentage should have been 75%, but everybody saw it's like 77%. So we're literally only 2 points away in terms of appropriation, which is really, really good. I think we're going to be, I don't foresee any major problems at all between now and the end of the year. So that's it.
Wait your tongue, please.
As long as this weather stays like
Yes.
The weather holds everything
Yeah,
else.
right.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
If you have any questions, go ahead.
Thank you. I'm happy to hear that. Any questions down here?
No?
No.
Nope. Thank you, Mr. Quick. Unfortunately, Chief Cook had a last-minute emergency, so we will accept his report. He is willing to come next month if anybody has questions. So we will move on to Chief Palumbo. Good evening, welcome.
Thank you. Okay, just touching on, we completed all our setup for Fire Prevention Week. This month, we're actively out in all the schools doing assemblies in fire education to pre-K through 5th grade. As you see in one of my reports, also our Union County match, I finally put the numbers together that we were switching over to the new system. The county matched us just over $79,000. So they matched Springfield. So we're up and ready to move forward and start. And it was great to see what they did for us. We also did some UASI training with Union and Elizabeth and Milburn, which was paid for by UASI. We also, in order to become efficient with our budget, Milburn, Summit, and Springfield just entered into some training together, live burn training. It splits the fees and costs for rental of the academy because there's certain live burn training that we need to do. So the three of us put our heads together and we split the fee. So it's a great thing to do. We have a great relationship with the departments, and the guys get to interact a little bit more, and it's just cost savings to the town. Last but not least, our guys you'll see have switched over to pink to support breast cancer awareness, and are selling T-shirts at the firehouse, and the proceeds are being donated to organizations.
Any questions?
Yeah, let me ask a question. And they used to do when I was a kid, so I don't know, I haven't been around. When you do a fire drill at Walton, I saw Walton, because I know that's the hardest school to do it. Is the fire department there when the fire alarm goes off and watches the kids come out and make sure they go where they're supposed to go?
No. So what happens is the school is responsible for 2 drills a month. One is now what they call a fire drill, and the other is called a lockdown drill.
Yeah, no.
It suffices that. So it's done 2 different ways. It's documented. They do an alarm, and all the teachers, we'll spot check them periodically, but they phone in and call us and tell us we're doing a fire drill.
Yeah, I just want to make sure, like with Walton, and I guess even Caldwell and Sandmeyer, those, high school should know. But I want to make sure they go where, they're going to be out of your way. God forbid we ever have a fire. I'd like to make sure just the fire department get over there and say, this is where we're going to be dragging the hose, the water from and all that. So they know just to move out of the way,
Yeah, our big thing is we've also spot checked them as where we've come into the school when they've done the drill and shut down a staircase and said, this is where your fire is. Because what happens is they develop a habit of just going out the same exit.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
they get the deer in headlights and can't come this way. So we're always harping, know your 2 ways out.
Okay, that's good, thank you.
We do that.
Okay.
I'm happy to see that you're sharing services. That's always great. Anytime we can afford to, save a little bit of money in the town, it's always appreciated. So thank you very much.
Good.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Thank you, Chief. Mr. Shahadi, do you have a report for us?
My items are going to be for executive this meeting only.
Okay, perfect.
Excellent.
Love it.
Excellent.
Moving along. Moving on to news and reports.
I move to adopt the regular and executive meeting minutes of September 12th, 2017 as emailed.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any objections? Any abstentions? Number 2?
I move to approve the meetings from September 25th as emailed.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any objections?
I move to adopt.
Wait, any abstentions?
Sorry.
No, I don't think it was the executive
Okay.
portion of the meeting.
Yeah, you weren't here the 26th.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I move to adopt the regular meeting and executive meeting minutes of September 26th as emailed.
I second.
Madam Clerk, that says roll call.
Yeah, it really
It's a
shouldn't
typo?
be. It's a
Okay.
typo. But
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Marie abstains.
Abstain.
Okay.
Yeah, I was there the day before.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're all in favor except one abstention is from Maria. Okay. We will accept the building department report for September 2017 as submitted, as long as anybody doesn't have any questions. Okay, moving on to new business. We do not have a second reading. However, we do have a first. Madam Clerk, if you could please read the ordinance by title.
Ordinance 2017-16. This ordinance is amending Ordinance 2017-08 and amending the Code of the Township, Chapter 35, Land Use Regulations, to correct a typographical error in the prior ordinance by amending Section 35-34, Affordable Housing Standards.
Okay, is there a motion?
I move ordinance 2017-16 as read by Madam Clerk, with publication in the local source October 19th, 2017, with final hearing on November 13th, 2017.
Second.
Okay, is there a discussion?
No.
No? Okay, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Vassallo.
Yes.
Committeeman Huber.
Yes.
Committeewoman Budzinowski.
Yes.
Committeewoman Du Bois.
Yes.
Mayor Stampoulos.
Yes. Okay. All right, we're moving on to our resolutions. Let's adopt these resolutions by consent agenda. If anyone has an objection to include any of them, let me know, and I will have it pulled. 2017-245, 2017-246.
246.
Want to pull that?
Yeah, I just want to, is he leaving now? Or
No.
is he, oh, he's not even until the end of the year?
Correct.
All right,
December.
just leave
Yep.
it there then.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure. I thought he
pulling
was
it?
leaving. No.
No,
not
I
the
said you
full-
can leave it.
Okay. 2017-247, 2017-248, 2017-249, and 2017-250. Is there a motion?
I move to adopt resolutions 2017-245, 246, 247, 248, 249, and 250.
I second.
Roll call, please.
Committeewoman Du Bois.
Yes.
Committeewoman Budzinowski.
Yes.
Committeeman Huber.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Vassallo.
Yes.
Mayor Stampoulos.
Yes. Okay, we're moving on quickly
You're
here.
doing well here.
I know.
Yeah.
All right, discussion and action items. Number 1.
So, approve a request for Recreation Department to offer full credit toward a senior citizen individual membership to the Community Pool 2018 as a gift for the Senior Citizen Club Basket Auction fundraiser at their annual holiday party on December 15th, as done in 15 and 16.
I second.
Madam Clerk, roll call.
Committeeman Huber.
Yes.
Committeewoman Budzinowski.
Yes.
Committeewoman Du Bois.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Vassallo.
Yes.
Mayor Stampoulos.
Yes.
I move to approve the on-premise 50/50 raffle license number 1283 to the PTA at Florence Guarnier, drawing to be held on November 19th, 2017 at 139 Mountain Avenue.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any objections? Any abstentions? Okay, item number 3. So we have a request for Town Hall and Chisholm use, which we're going to have a discussion on.
I'm going to actually have, as the candidate, I'm going to have to abstain.
Okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Which I like to bring Scott in, and Ellen, this is your time, or you guys want to discuss it first?
Oh, makes no difference.
Ellen, this could be your time.
Hi, Ellen Dixon with Tap Into Springfield. We've been in business in Springfield about a year now, and I thought as our first year celebration, we would sponsor a debate with the 3 local candidates running for Township Committee. I hadn't heard of another debate going on, and so I decided that we would offer to have a debate. I was talked to the library, they were full, so I talked to Chisholm a number of times, talked to Adam at least twice, maybe 3 times, about getting the senior lounge, and I thought I was approved. I was told we needed to be have nonprofits, but I thought both political parties and Jeff Rosenberg would be sufficient sponsors. I was told at 4 o'clock today, and the debate is tomorrow, that we were not allowed to use Chisholm. I thought that was disrespectful, frankly, and we've already hired someone to do the video. We've got a timer, we've got a moderator, we've got people doing the questions. We've put posters all over town talking about this. It's certainly on our website and our Facebook page. So we decided that, okay, if I don't have permission, I can't have it. But then again, we had a 3-way call with Scott Seidel. We talked about going together at a different time, but the time of their debate, we're not available. We have a prior commitment in New York City that we can't break. They were throwing around debates at another time a week later. However, about 6:30 tonight, I get a call from Jeff Rosenberg and said that the Rotary was willing to be the nonprofit sponsor for the debate tomorrow. So it has been approved by their executive board, and I'm hoping that the Township Committee would approve our date for tomorrow night at the Chisholm Center, 7 to 8:30.
Well said.
Scott Seidel.
8:30?
Wait,
What time was it?
7 to 8.
7 to 8:30.
7 to 8:30.
Okay, well, we're gonna we're gonna ask you to come forward from the Patriot and inform us, and then we'll make a decision. The committee will decide what to do.
Scott Seidel, 407 Rolling Rock Road, Springfield, New Jersey. So, a few things. Back in August, around the middle of August, my mother, who's done the candidates night before with Hadassah and the Chamber, contacted me, mentioned that she wanted to see if we wanted to do the candidates for him, and I said we would. So she started talking. I guess she had a conversation with Bruce Bergen at the time because she was emailing him, and they were trying to come up with a date. She had blocked out some dates. So we had a number of discussions about what we would do. And it was determined, I guess in talking to, I guess we talked to Bruce and Dave Barnett, and I spoke to Jeff Rosenberg that we were going to do the either 11th or the 18th. They were doing one, TAP was doing one on the 11th. We were going to do it on the 18th, and we were going to do it here. I know on September 12th, because Ellen mentioned she didn't know we were doing one, I remember specifically she usually has someone here who videotapes, and they were sitting right there, and they asked Ziad, what about candidates for him? And I said, well, the Chamber is doing one, and Ellen can talk to me about it. And that was the last I heard. Then I find out, I guess about a week or so later, that they were just going to do one on the 11th. So it really never came to us to discuss it. Today, as Ziad mentioned, we had a call around 4:30, and it was determined that if we couldn't agree to have one together, then maybe there wouldn't be one at all. So I said, well, certainly we would do it with, we would combine it with TAP and do it together. And I said, we already have it scheduled for the 18th. We could just do it then. Ellen said she couldn't do it on the 18th. So we came up with the dates of the 19th and the 25th, were dates that she could make, that we could make. So then I volunteered to call everybody to find out if those dates would work. So I spent between 4:30 and now speaking to, I called Jeff Rosenberg, I called Chris, I called Jerry to see which dates would work. I checked with Gary Heck, I checked with Mike Scalera, who's our moderator, and Mike is going to welcome everybody on behalf of the Chamber. And it appears that the 19th would work. And on the way over, I got a call from Gary Heck asking about what was going on, because they had a request to videotape, sponsor something tomorrow night. So I'm not sure exactly what went on this afternoon. I thought we had an arrangement to do it on the 19th and the 25th. I see Ellen went and is trying to get the Rotary to do it. So it's up to you to decide. We were happy to co-sponsor it with TAP on either the 19th or the 25th. The 19th would be the date. Everybody's available. We would do it here at the town hall, and that's what we would do. So I don't think everything she said is 100% accurate, because she never really reached out to me. I mean, I even emailed her back on the 29th, inviting her to our event, which was going to be the 18th, and now it'll be a co-sponsored event if we have it. So that's what went on. So a lot of phone calls about this forum.
Okay, so our dilemma is we have the TAP that's scheduled something for tomorrow, we have the Patriot that's scheduled something for next week, and both need the approval from us, being that they're in municipal buildings.
Mm-hmm.
So the dilemma is, do you continue with the two events that are in progress? Do we combine it? I'd like to hear what the committee would like to say, or what your opinion is on this.
When I was a candidate, way back, we used to do one at the school, at
Jonathan Dayton.
Dayton, and we get, if 10 people, if. Hadassah used to get people because it was the organization. I was going to say that, but I didn't want your mother yelling at me if I was there. But, I mean, they would offer them lunch, a light lunch and all that, and go a lot more people. I think if you go separate, it isn't worth, you know, to me, they should combine together the two businesses, TAP and
Patriot.
Patriot. Go together and show everybody they're united. And I think it would be better to do one than two, in my opinion.
I mean, I'm going to have to agree with you. I think I personally was the last candidate that had two debates. One was at the high school and one was at the Hadassah. I think we had 6 people at the high school and 50 at Hadassah. So, you know, to prepare for 2 different debates, I felt personally it was difficult. But anybody else, Maria?
I just feel like if the preparation for the candidate is probably in place at this point, I would say. And that's just my opinion. I was, obviously I ran a campaign as well, and I was prepared no matter what. And with, Rich, I don't know when you ran, but I don't know if we had the explosion of social media at that time either. Now we do. So with that, we have a lot of people in town that have spoken about both of these dates, and people that have come to me as well. So I think with the issue of fairness, to Ellen's point, for me, go for it. I don't mind a debate. I see nothing wrong with having a debate both nights. There's nothing to hide. There's nothing, if you want to be transparent, here's our opportunity for the candidates to be transparent. And that's my opinion. I mean, we could, obviously everybody can have their own opinion on this matter. But if this were the case, I feel like we're getting down to the weeds now, as who said what and who spoke to who. And I like all of you, so I'm going to be fair about it and say, you know what, in my humble opinion, I think we should just go for it, have the candidates talk, have a little conversation. There's no harm in it.
I think commenting on this is a no-win situation, and I don't want to hear what's going to happen when we walk out of here, but can we just talk about why it could be an issue to have the event? Like, what was the ordinance or whatever that was actually, that brought this, just so that people know? I think that's where we should start, as opposed to our opinions on multiple debates, which I don't think is really the situation.
Yeah. No, I agree with you wholeheartedly, Committee Woman. I think that the thing that's central to this, and in all fairness to each, both the Chisholm Center has guidelines and rules that prohibit commercial use. So regardless of whether it's sponsored even by the Rotary, commercial use is prohibited there. Now, obviously, you guys can vote to change that, but as it stands, unless there's a vote in the affirmative to allow that and make the exception to the rule, even if there is a sponsorship, the commercial use is prohibited. As for the town hall, same thing. We've never done anything that can be deemed political or campaign-oriented at the municipal building as well. Same thing. That would need to be approved. The Board of Education, that's their rules, their guidelines, whether they approve it, whether they require certificates of insurance, this, that, whatever that is. So what's before us is whether we're opening up the, again, it's your decision to make those exceptions, but it was brought to my attention in the last few days. I raised that to, I passed along the information to you all this morning, and that's how this ended up on the agenda, for you guys to decide whether you want to make the exceptions to the rules or how you want to proceed.
And that's it. And I don't think this is it's
not a matter of the merits.
This is about who thinks we should have 1 debate, 2 debates, 3 debates. I don't think the candidates themselves care if they have 2 or 3 or 4. All of them are very intelligent people. They can speak on their issues. I think it's more coming down to our decision is based on the actual rules, and if we change it now, then who will we change it for next? So that's what we're really talking about, not about...
So there's legal ramifications.
Exactly. I'm not,
Well, regardless, we need to approve either both or one. So we need to approve one of the buildings. Either we approve Town Hall for one, if they're willing to work together, or if things are already set and in play, then we have to approve both.
Right. Correct. So that's your decision.
So that's what you need to make the decision on. Right. Do we approve both, or do we approve one?
I'm for one.
Well, we can't have it at Town Hall, right?
No, we can. We can.
Well, we're gonna have to vote to change the.
Right.
We can approve to
make
have
the
it at
exception
Town Hall.
tonight.
We can approve it to have it at Chisholm.
Frequently, we get Adam sends in requests for usage and all this, and I think in an attempt to given the sensitivity of it, I think he was just trying to appease everybody. But the rule is the rule, and the only people, as in the past, that can make those exceptions are you guys. I'm not going to make that exception, and Adam's not going to make the exception.
Okay, so this is coming down to the wire. I guess this is kind of a last-minute decision at this point. So, from the advisement of our township administrator, there's no commercial usage allowed
in either building.
In either building.
At Chisholm or at Town Hall.
Correct. And both debates are already set, right? Yours is set for the 18th and yours is set for the 11th.
Well, mine was set for the 18th until I called everybody today and told them it's going to be the 19th or the 25th. We haven't changed any notices. We haven't changed any notice.
Where do you want to hold it?
We would like to hold ours here, and the chamber is a 501c6 not-for-profit corporation.
What happened with having it at the high school?
The high school
Well,
still
the
under
same thing
renovation.
that happened
Yeah,
with our
the
summer concert. They
auditorium.
renovated the auditorium.
Not ready.
We could have it at the high
None of
school.
the kids are
December 14th is the first date they gave me.
Let me ask a question, hey Scott, what's the matter with the library? If we had it at the library
What about the
before?
library?
Let's have our
What
own
about the
debate
Knights of
here.
Columbus or
Okay, we're
McGlynn's?
gonna-
I don't really care, but I don't think you should tell people at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the day before the debate. And Rotary did come to me. I realize you made a lot of phone calls, Scott. I'm willing to go with the 18th, but I really think this should have been handled with a little more respect. Well, if you've got the publicity out, no, I can hire somebody to cover it. I would prefer to be there myself, but I can't, so. Okay.
Okay, so if the two of you can come together on a date, then we'll approve,
You just,
One, you didn't get one.
okay?
I will try to get 2 good reporters to come on the 18th, if that works.
All right,
Okay,
let's do it.
Cancel tomorrow.
Thank you. No, but now we have to vote on.
You have to, so therefore you need a motion to approve the usage of the municipal building on October 18th by the Alternative Press Springfield and the Chamber of Commerce.
right.
Or Chisholm.
Well, they want to do
No,
it
they
here.
want to do it here.
They want to do it
Their
here.
preference is here.
And
Right
how
here.
does the committee feel about having it here?
Well, that's it. That's your
fine.
call.
Yeah.
be televised, right?
This is the only building that can hold it.
Okay, motion to, whatever that is, so that,
Okay,
do I have a second?
on the 18th.
On
The
the
18th.
On the 18th. At what
Second.
time?
7
At,
o'clock, Rich?
7 o'clock? Is it 7?
7 to 8:30.
I believe we said between 7 or 7:30.
Okay, is.
You can
is
leave the window
Patriot
open.
and
Yeah,
TAP
open.
okay with that? Are we good on the compromise? Okay.
In this room. And we have nothing scheduled for that room?
Not for
It's,
the 18th.
Is that Wednesday or Tuesday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Nothing's scheduled for that day.
Okay.
No.
So it'll be right here.
Do I have a second?
Yeah, she said.
Do you want it to, well, I'm sorry, I'm hearing a conversation, there was a motion, but I'm hearing a conversation about televising, which also was not approved because we have never done that. However, you know, it's again, on you, if you want to put it on that TV station, or they do it on their own and broadcast it their way.
Oh, okay.
Okay, hold your motion.
Oh,
So we had someone who was gonna come video it. I don't think we were gonna televise it.
Do you want it?
My intention was to just give a copy after it's edited to each candidate, and they can do whatever they'll use it. Because I'm not a social media person. I don't know what you were gonna do with your end of it.
Do social media.
It's big.
okay.
Okay, so,
I motion,
Second.
Second.
okay.
Oh, want me to do a roll call?
Yes,
Yes,
please.
Okay. Committeeman Huber,
yes.
Committeewoman DuBois,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Vasallo,
No.
Mayor Stampoulis.
Yes.
And Committeewoman
She
Wojnowski had
can't
already
abstain. She's abstained. She abstained.
Yes,
Okay,
that passes.
so
Yes.
okay, so Wednesday, October 18th, the Patriot and the TAP are approved here at the Township Town Hall. 7 or 7:30, you guys pick your time, and. Okay,
I'm good.
you're welcome.
All right,
Can I-
thanks, guys.
Can I just ask one question, and maybe Zia, you can answer this, and Linda? Since I've been up here, I've never heard anybody ask for the library to have a debate, and that's our property. How can they go in there?
They have their own board of trustees and their own rules and regs.
Yeah,
Oh, it doesn't, all right.
It never,
Yeah, no,
the
they-
use of the library always
Want to
goes
make
to their
sure,
board
I
of
said, wait a
trustees.
second.
that has to
Yeah.
come across my desk too, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the correspondence, 1, 2, and 3. We'll accept them. If there are any questions, feel free to ask now. No? 1, 2, and 3? Okay. At this time, any unfinished business that you want to discuss? Actually, here it states we're going to be discussing the parking at Irwin Park and Rosner Fields. Who wants to
Yeah.
discuss that?
That's, I'm
Oh,
pointing to Mr.
I'd like to, I asked you about that.
Yes.
All right, where the gravel is right now, I've talked to Robbie and I talked to almost everybody. All right, the coaches have bags and all that they gotta drag to the games. There are the people who park there. One person complained, and we back down. I think we should be allowed to, they should be allowed. Coaches should be allowed to park on the
And
gravel.
board members.
And, well, board members are coaches, so, you know, to park on the gravel, and that's it, instead of, we gotta pick up all the gravel and all that, to plant grass. I just think it's easier. Baseball maintains all that stuff. People in the snack bar, if they'll pick up cases of soda, cases of water, whatever it is, to back up to there. I mean, it's a lot easier. And one person complained, nobody else. Or four people complained.
Yeah, I
I'm
thought
sorry,
there was a
four
whole bunch of people that came.
Four people complained. I'm sorry, I just think
It's
that,
half the neighborhood that's
Probably all the
complaining.
surrounding neighbors.
yeah, but they complained about everything with that park.
Yeah, no, I just want to, so you're
Yeah.
aware, in case four people
four
come back, it was those same four people.
Four people complained, but I'm sorry, I just think that for the baseball league and that, we should just keep that as a parking lot for the coaches and all that. Not for Uncle Harry coming today to watch the game.
But how do you
Yeah.
how do you
How do you determine who's who?
Police stop there and the police are there,
Unless
stop
you
the
give
game.
them a tag,
And they
like
check.
a field member tag on their
So
car?
we'll give them tags.
The
We'll give 'em-
baseball league did talk about putting up specific signage if it is decided upon by the township committee to make it parking for those people, that there would be signage and that they would be able to maintain that somehow.
And we will be allowing them to park on a gravel, or will they be changing that?
No, we
No,
wouldn't
gravel.
change it then.
We wouldn't change it because, you know, if you put a surface, water's gonna run off, then we're gonna have a problem.
Now, is there like a driveway going up there? Like, is the
The
curbing?
apron? The apron?
Correct.
There was, I believe, trying to remember the conversation we had several months ago, because I remember hearing that there was maybe, I think, a temporary apron or a ramp of some sort, because the residents were complaining about that, and then the barricades were moved, something about the barricades, so we were told the barricade, I was going through emails prior to this meeting, the chief did order his guys to put the barricades back up and to enforce it. I don't recall if it was a temporary apron or a permanent apron for when the work was being done. But, you know, again, it's a pretty minor thing, I think. We could,
To add an apron?
to add the apron, yeah, I
Okay.
think to add the apron.
There's an apron there, I do believe. 'Cause I parked there
Okay.
one
Yeah.
time.
Okay, the only thing is, how do you, not have people park there off-season?
Chain it?
I mean, we could,
Chain it.
yeah, we could put a pole with a chain there, you could put up, you know, I wouldn't go with, as far as putting up a fence, but I think having maybe two poles with
I think a
with a
chain.
chain between the two.
Well, that's the, matter of fact, if it's passes, I'll go to the baseball league and say, look, we'll do this, but you have to put up two poles on each side.
If
And
you- I'm
with-
sorry.
With DPW and Mr. Shire and all that, and with a chain, that gets chained, and, you know, it's there.
Yeah, for nights, for off times.
All times and all that stuff.
What I was gonna suggest, if you'd like, I'll talk to Mr. Betcher and Chief Cook and ask them to come up with a plan for it for your approval. And if that's what you know, if you wanna go that route, then we'll implement it. So my understanding is, the goals of this are to ensure access for coaches only,
And board members,
coaches and board
which
members.
might be redundant, but I'm not sure
Yeah.
all board members still coach, but that was their plan.
Okay.
Because actually,
and-
what's funny is I happened to be walking that neighborhood door to door this past weekend, and you know, the neighbors really did voice a thing about that. That was one big thing. They're like, okay, when are you guys going to put the grass back? Because, you know, this is great, but we don't have this. So, you know, that we don't have all that extra parking, so.
Well, that's gonna force all those cars into the street in front of their houses when that.
And they complain
Wait, can I
about
just
that.
clarify something? The neighbors are complaining that the cars are being parked there. Is that what we're
That
debating?
was what the complaint was. I remember one lady saying her meadow, it wasn't a meadow, but one lady was saying it was her meadow that was now torn down, and they don't want the gravel, we were promised grass and all this stuff. So that's why we ended up with those 4 or so individuals that had come to the meeting and complained. But with the baseball league, they were told that we'd leave the gravel and they could use it for that season. And then that changed mid-season, I guess. So there's been a lot of back and forth on it. But I told Mr. Betcher to contact the contractor and put a hold on whatever they were gonna do, reseeding or what, until you guys can decide, because they're gonna come back and start doing the work.
Okay,
If not, I don't want them to put the grass down if we're just gonna put the gravel back, and
Correct.
so,
So the baseball team wants this field and the neighbors do not. Is that the dilemma that we're gonna occur?
But if you look at all the people in that neighborhood, which I respect them, they do complain about everything. They complain about the lights, they complain about the noise, they complain about the kids, they complain about this. They bought a house across the street from a park. I mean, that's what I'm just saying, you know, that's my opinion. I know they're probably cursing at me right now.
What are the
Well, but they
ramifications
bought a
of
part-
having
wait,
this
hang on,
done as
so-
a
You
field
know
and
that.
more concerned with the complaints? Is
Hold
that
on.
something we need to address with those neighbors a little more in detail before you pave it or put an apron up?
Well, I mean, we're definitely not gonna pave it. I think the issue is just leave the gravel that's there, the big stones, or reseed it. If we reseed it, then it's that. If we're gonna keep the gravel, then we have to put, and allow use, then we're gonna have to put, you know, the chain, the poles, whatever it is. I think in either case, whether you, somebody's gonna be mad, exactly. You're never
All
gonna
right.
make everybody happy, but in either case also, you know, when you make the decision, I think the last thing you wanna do is for us to just make those changes if we keep it as gravel.
Okay.
Give them the notice, but what's gonna happen is they're gonna come back here and complain. So, you know,
Alright.
if they complain, then are you gonna stick to the decision, or are you going to revise your plans?
I have a compromise. I think, why don't we allow it for the season, temporary, and see how it goes? And let's not make any permanent,
Next season.
metal poles, and just do it for the season, and let's see if the complaints outwarrant the.
And see if they abuse it. If they abuse it,
See how it goes, and
Yeah.
then if not, let's make it like a temporary
So
trial.
I don't know sports bowl, when's the season?
Well,
June,
fall is basically over, it starts.
Oh, good, I don't have to worry about it then.
It starts
Yeah.
again in April.
Okay, so,
first April,
So
May.
April to about,
Won't be my decision then.
so April
April
to,
till about June would be the initial season, and then there's summer baseball. But
okay.
if you wanna give it like April to June as a window to see how it plays out. and
So we won't
final
reseed it, is this,
No.
right now, we're not reseeding it, leaving it as is
And then
until
come back
April?
to discuss it in June, when it's been the end of that first full season.
As long
Okay,
as
but
there's
come
an
that
apron.
point,
Like, I don't want people
Right.
going up the curb to park, like, make sure, but check that there's an apron there.
Okay.
I
So
think
I will give you this, I will give you the residents' point of view, just because I was there this particular weekend. So, you know, a lot of them, when you say that people park there, you know, when they bought across the street from a park, yes, they did they did buy a house across the street from the park, but when they bought their houses, most of them, you know, the field wasn't lighted either. And so, you know, here you have a situation where now we've lit the field, the games are a lot later than they were ever before. You know, you have that many more people parking, because now we've got baseball you know, we've got the fall season, which I'm not sure we had before.
Yeah, we do, fall baseball.
Okay. So, but there's a lot more things that we've added to those people, especially on that block, you know what I mean? That there wasn't, that wasn't there before. You know, some of the things was a nice little residential park, and all of a sudden we've made it a huge park. So, I will give you the residents' point of view, because I heard it, so.
But the thing is, I fought for that park before it was fenced in. I fought for the dugouts. I fought for everything in that park. The last PGA tournament, whatever it was, Bolt Straw gave the township, and I wasn't on the township committee then. No, before that. I don't even know if you lived there then. But they gave the township committee the money for those lights. I mean, Bolt Straw's worked with them. And suppose you need it for public service, whatever it is, during the year, to park trucks there, like you did last time. You know, things happen. I'm just saying, I agree with the mayor, we'll do it next season. I will tell the board that if they abuse it, if the police
We'll
go past.
revisit in June, and if it's abused and we feel that
That's
it's
it.
being
We're
taken
done.
advantage of, then.
Because by June, most of baseball is done.
okay, so,
That's the compromise, it's on a trial basis for the season, and let's see how the coaches and the neighbors can adjust. If there's an issue, then it gets removed.
okay, so just to be clear again for everybody, because I don't want there to be any confusion. Right now, Mr. Mardini confirmed for me, there is no apron.
Oh.
So we would have to install a concrete apron in order for this trial to happen. That trial would start in April. So between now and April, we're really not doing anything. We're simply not seeding it. We're not doing anything. Come
Right.
April or just prior, we would install an apron and let it be used on a trial basis, and then revisit the decision in June whether that's permanent or not.
Okay.
Is that
Right.
correct?
I agree with that. Yeah.
Madam Clerk, did you put that all in the minutes?
I got it, thanks.
Okay.
Okay. I just want to be clear on my marching orders.
All right.
Do you want me to mention a couple other things we talked at the last rec meeting, since Adam's not here? Regarding the issue with the bathrooms at Chisholm. We're gonna have a trial run with that to allow the teams that use those fields to have access to the bathrooms. So we're working out the details of that now, and if all goes well, that'll be the plan for next summer. So that we worked on, and the storage containers over by the pool will be wrapped. The soccer club is wrapping theirs for sure, and then they were gonna talk to DPW, right, Ziad? Somebody's gonna talk to DPW about making theirs look more appealing, so those are the trailers that are over there, so that's been taken care of too.
And what about the refreshment stand? They were.
Well, we don't really know much. We're in the early stages of discussing a possible snack bar type of situation at Chisholm for the softball fields, but it was very early stages, so we don't really have any details.
Okay.
That's about it.
All right, well, thank you. Okay, let's move on to public comment. Anyone at this time from the public would like to come up on any governmental issues, please come forward, state your name, and be mindful of our 5-minute time limit.
This guy was too
Look at
sharp.
this
He just walked in
handsome
here.
man.
Hey,
Sam, can you,
My name is Jonah. I am 9. I live at 1 Hemlock Terrace. I would like to ask that we stop using so many plastic bags. During Clean Communities Day, we pick up literally hundreds of plastic bags out of the woods and in the stream. My idea is to reduce the amount of bags is to have different stores sponsor a reusable bag with coupons from those stores, sorry. If they come in with a reusable bag, they can get a percentage off of their orders. This is my idea to help the environment while helping promote local businesses at the same time.
Jonah, that's a great idea.
Thank you.
What do you think, committee? How do
I back that 100%.
how do we do that? How do we make that happen?
Didn't it?
Well, actually, you know what, I've actually spoken to the bid about that, and I spoke to Mike Scalera, and he will be getting back to me, and along with the woman who helps out at the bid. I already have some samples that was already sent to my house.
See what this bid is for.
Oh, so the Business Improvement District, so they represent a lot of the businesses in town. So I've reached out to them. I've actually got some samples that are, that have already been sent to my house, and I will show them the samples and see if we can make that happen for you.
Okay.
Great job, Joe.
Thank you.
Yeah, great job. Thank you. Thank you very much.
He is a nice guy.
So handsome.
That's really tough to follow something like that.
It is.
I usually follow firefighters or EMTs or other things like that, Boy Scout groups, so this is tough though. 3 quick things. Again, Rob Walden, JCP&L, 52 Chatham Road in Summit. 3 quick things. We're still trimming trees out of the Bryan substation in the Township of Springfield. So if you get any complaints or concerns, by all means let me know. We're happy to work with residents about trimming their trees. We do have to meet the BPU guidelines, but by the same token, we want to be respectful of people's property. The second thing is we are working with the Township and Verizon on some of the double poles around the Township. We want to make sure we try to get those resolved for the Township, so we'll be working with Verizon to address those. There are a number of them in town, and as I said, we'll be working on those. And third and finally...
I'm sorry, I just want to interrupt you, just so is everybody aware of double poles?
Yep,
Yes.
the ones on Morris Ave?
We have 18 of them in the town.
Oh, lovely.
Actually, 18 locations. One of
18
the road
locations.
probably has 20 poles.
Right, yeah, so that's where there's an old pole next to a new pole, and not all the lines have been moved over, and Mr. Walton's been most helpful in connecting us with Verizon to make sure. We've got a meeting next week, I think we decided
Correct.
on,
I believe it's
to
Tuesday.
try and identify an action plan to get rid of those and help beautify the town in yet one more way. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
Sure. And third and finally, our PSI program, which is our 2-year lineman school. We do that in conjunction with Barron Valley Community College. JCP&L pays for the books, the tuition, the equipment, all of the stuff the students need. And at the conclusion of their 2-year degree program, they become linemen. Most of them get hired with JCP&L, but it's a great career path for folks who aren't college-oriented. Again, it's a 2-year program. We have an open house on November 8th at RVCC. We usually pack the room about 300 students, and we call that down to about 30 qualified applicants, and almost all of them get jobs working as linemen. The first crew that graduated in May is working right now in the township and elsewhere in our territory, putting up wires and fixing lights and all that good stuff. So,
That's fantastic. Well, thank you.
Great, thank you.
I got a question.
As all, sure, glad to take it.
Okay. What are we doing to help the power at the library? I've gotten calls lately, so hasn't been bad, I guess. But I got that one, and there's also, I got a call a couple of weeks ago, we talked about on a Sunday. Colonial and a couple streets in that area lost the power. Seems like we're all over town, and you do send out notices. I didn't get a notice about that one, but I knew because my daughter was over there.
Okay.
She had a baby, so. But the library is very essential, and so is the residents. I mean, I realize some animals go in there, and once in a while it happens, but it seems like it's just a lot. Are we improving this grid out here? Because I remember at one time we spoke about solar panels on the roof here. We're going to do a solar panel for the town.
Sure.
And we couldn't because the grid wasn't up to date. Am I correct? Right? I mean, well, you were there. You were on the committee, so.
You've asked me 3 questions. Let me take each one of them in order.
Okay.
The first one with the library. Yes, the library had some reliability issues. We put a voltmeter on the library's meter to see if there were any concerns. It came back fine, from what I understand. But I'll certainly look at that again. With regard to the outages, I send out notifications to the committee and to your staff when we have outages with 100 customers or more. If it's less than that, I don't get notified, and we don't send out a notification to our elected officials. That's not to say that we don't have outages of less than 100.
Okay.
And if you have a specific neighborhood, I'm happy to look into it, the date and time, and let you know the cause, and if it's been a recurring issue, and we can certainly look to address that. Happy to do that. The third thing with solar in this building, my understanding is that it is a voltage issue with how the building is currently served, and that decision was made years and years ago by someone who decided to put in whatever device was put into the building, and we served it based on those voltages. Solar panels require a different voltage service, so we would have to change the transformer that serves the building. It has nothing to do with the quality of the grid in Springfield Township. It is unique to the transformer that serves the building. Our grid is perfectly capable of handling solar installations in Springfield. There are plenty of folks who have solar power in Springfield. It is an issue particular to this building. And generically, we are improving reliability in the township. I was here about a year ago, showed you the slides that showed the improvements in both the frequency of duration of outages, the duration of outages, and the total time that folks are out of power. Our trend as a company, they've continued to go down in 2017, but I can certainly look into how it has been, how Springfield has performed specifically, if you like.
And what does it take to change a transformer? It's a lot of money.
Yes, it takes some cash. It is a matter of coming out, it's turning the power off to the building, moving the one transformer out, putting a new one in, checking the voltages, make sure that it's correct, and then you're up and running. It's about an 8-hour job.
Yeah, I already asked Mr. Walton to give us a price proposal to do that work.
All right, because I know so we've talked about solar.
Sure.
We could have gotten the solar panels for free, and it was a big thing then. I think it was before you came.
It was.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Mr. Walton, could you, for the benefit of the committee, a while ago you had sent me a report on outages. It was a very nice spreadsheet. I love spreadsheets. Would you be able to do one since that point so I can share that with the governing body again?
Yeah, no problem.
I think if they found that very helpful. It listed all the outages and the causes just to give them a little flavor of what's going on.
And just to complete the circle entirely in my report, most of those outages, about 75%, are tree-related, which is why it's so important that we do that tree trimming out of the Bryan substation. So.
I honestly think they've been less frequent, the outages. I think we feel like it's more off, and I think they've been short, like when they happen, it's quick, it comes back on much more quickly than I thought in years past. I don't know if it's because of social media that everybody jumps on and complains their power. It immediately says my power's out and it might come back on immediately, so it seems like you hear a lot of voices, but I feel like it's been less frequent than in years past. That's just my opinion.
That's good to hear, thank you.
I used to make fun of it a lot, so I'm stepping back. I used to make fun of all the squirrels in town that mess with our power.
Sure.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you,
Thank
Ron.
you very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, you too. Anybody else from the public? Any governmental issue? Going once? Okay, seeing none. We have an executive session. Madam Clerk, we'll move on. Can you read the resolution by title, please?
Sure. Resolution 101017, whereas Article 6 of the Open Public Meetings Act provides that a public body may hold a closed session, and whereas the Township Committee will during this meeting enter into discussion of the following matters: contract negotiations for IT, personnel, recreation. Whereas the matters to be discussed in closed session are to remain in the strictest of confidence by all Township Committee members in furtherance of their fiduciary duties to the Township of Springfield. Now therefore be it resolved, matters discussed at this meeting will be released to the public when the reasons for discussing and acting upon them in closed session no longer exists.
Is there a motion?
I make a motion to go into closed?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And we won't be coming.
Okay. Also, at this time, I'd like to let the public know that we will not be taking any action when we come out. We will be